Let's talk to Pulse Asia's Anna Tabunda, who is on the line. Anna, can you hear us?
Yes. Good evening, Natasha.
Hi, Anna. This is Natasha. We're looking at results. As of 8:08 p.m., 60% reporting in. We were just discussing how Mayor Duterte seems to have even exceeded surveys. What can you say about this? He is at 38.9% so far in our latest returns.
Well, if that trend continues, he will have exceeded. But since we have no idea where this 60% of votes are coming from, we're not exactly clear whether this trend will be sustained.
Okay, we do actually have, in terms of locations, Gigi, can you, our national editor, Gigi Go, is also with us, as well as Maria Ressa. So
hello,
we'll be tossing,
Anna. How are you?
We'll be tossing questions to you, Anna. But
okay.
Gigi might be able to give us insight on where most of the 60% of votes are coming from.
Mostly in the vote, Anna, the votes are coming in from the vote-rich provinces and cities. They, some of them have transmitted 80% of their votes, or more than 60%.
Okay. In that case, you will really see a larger percentage going to Mayor Duterte because he has a higher voter preference or voter support in urban areas and in large cities. If it takes the smaller municipalities longer to transmit, where voter preference for him is not, it's still stronger than for some of the other candidates, but not as strong as urban support for him, you might see his lead narrow somewhat, but he will still be there ahead if this trend continues.
Okay. Anything surprising to you so far, Anna, from the initial results of 60% precincts reporting?
Anna?
No, not that. Now that you have said it's mainly from the vote-rich large provinces, large cities. No, it's not surprising. But we will really know whether, one, how good the turnout is. Two, whether there was a shift, still a further shift from the last survey conducted by any of the three survey groups, including us, that were sharing the results. We need to see the 100% count for us to be able to say there was still a shift after those three surveys came out.
Anna? Anna, this is Gigi. Joel Villanueva is leading the senatorial polls, like he's #1, and this didn't show, at least in the last pre-election surveys that were published. Where could this support coming from?
Well, he had already shot up to #5 in one of our pre-electoral surveys. Well, it's really the messaging that has been getting him higher in the ranking compared to the even some re-electionist senators. And he also, I think, has very good network supporting him, both his church and former people helping him from the agency he used to be handling, I think. So, but #1, we'll have to see the 100%, especially in a senatorial race. It can be pretty close, so there can still be it depends on how the pattern of the transmission.
And Anna, this is Natasha. How about the vice presidential race? We've been following it closely, still very close, although Senator Bongbong Marcos has been leading Representative Leni Robredo. Does it surprise you how close these two are?
No, we have them at statistical tie, even a few days before election day. That's not surprising. We just don't know between the last time we surveyed just how much more voter preference for or voter support for the four other vice presidential candidates are going to weaken, because there are signs of weakening for the other vice presidential candidates, two of them, in fact, prior to, well, in the last electoral service we were looking at, pre-electoral service we were looking at.
Anna,
That's the kind of shifting we are expecting. Some of the lower-ranking candidates, whether in the presidential, vice presidential race, more consolidation of votes towards two candidates. That's what we're anticipating.
can I ask you, Anna, what these results are showing about the Filipino voter today, about our state of democracy? What are we looking for?
I'm not so sure it's about the democracy for them. It's not. I'm not so sure they're really thinking of. They do want a leader that will address some of the problems, and these are the leaders they perceive will address their problems. And those are different problems. Some of them have to do with livelihood, jobs. That's why you're probably seeing Joel Villanueva's rise, because he has his position in government was the closest addressing that particular problem. Of course, you have that criminality issue. They're also looking for people who have done, or they think have done, something or a lot. And of course, there's also, what's operating here also is the anti-administration sentiment in some of these areas, and a desire to try some new candidate.
What makes these elections different for you? I mean, you've done so many and you've studied the psyche of the Filipino voter. What makes this different?
Well, the fact that there were initially several choices for them, for the people. Actually, the lady behind me in the polling place, the precinct earlier said, "Ginulo nila tayo." In the sense, what she meant by that was, what she said was, "Ang hirap pumili, ginulo nila tayo." What she meant by that, I think, is so many issues were raised about the candidates. That's why you saw one candidate at one point top the presidential race just to be overtaken by another candidate, as issues were raised against each of these candidates. So that's what's so different about this. There was no strong candidate, really strong. Initially, there looked like there were a few strong candidates, but no candidate who really had enough qualities that the people could feel passionately about. The closest who comes to it is Mayor Duterte. At least his supporters are quite passionate about him, and it's partly also because he came on top, well, so close to election day, about a month before, so whatever issues that were being raised were about him may have not had enough play or coverage. We're not sure, or maybe they're just allowing him this excesses of his language, his promises or slash threats.
When is the point of no return, when you can see in each race for the president and vice president is so tightly such a tight race, but for you on the presidency, where is the point where we know who would actually win?
Well, I'm not so sure how evenly distributed voting population is across the precincts, because some of these precincts lost their voting population, with the evictions and the rise of condominiums, and people have not been able to, those who bought the condo units have not been able to register in that area. All those upset. But when the lead of, right now, well, the data I was looking at earlier, I think I have an earlier data in front of me than you. Right now, that lead is about, Mayor Duterte is about 3.3 million. That's about, if we still have 75% turnout, we can have somewhat higher, it can be somewhat lower because of the problems. But if we still have 75% turnout, that's 3.3 million. It's about 8 percentage points. So if you've already transmitted 92%, and he still has that 3 million, then, or maybe if you've transmitted 93%, so just 7% to go, and he has that 3.3 million gap, then that's it. No one can overtake him anymore. So that's how we have to look at these numbers, just to play safe, because we really need 100%, especially for the senatorial race, where the race at the bottom 4 or 5 or 6 slots can be quite stiff. It could be really neck and neck.
It certainly looks like that for the vice presidential race. Right now, as of 8:17 p.m., 61.81% of the precinct, the vice presidency, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has 9.9 million, 37%, and Lenny Robredo is at 9,029,707 at 33.5%. I mean, we're gonna keep checking back in with you, Anna, if it's okay, and we'd love to hear your thoughts.
That means we need to monitor at this rate. We need to monitor the vice presidential race until 97% of the votes are in.
Until 97%. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anna. It's good to speak with you as always.